love food colored green, bell peppers and long string beans, pickles, celery, cucumbers too. All these foods are good for you.
Welcome to Storytime Cooks, learning about food through books. I'm Carmen Long, Area Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences with the Allegheny and Surry County Centers of North Carolina Cooperative Extension. Today we're going to read the book, How Did That Get in My Lunchbox by Chris Butterworth. With it being back to school time, I thought it was a great opportunity for us to discuss where our food actually comes from. In this story, we're going to learn about where our food grows. One of the best parts of the day is when you lift the lid of your lunchbox and you see what's inside. Your parents have packed it with lots of tasty things to eat, and they've probably gotten all of the food from the grocery store. But the food doesn't grow in the grocery store. So where did it come from before it was in the store? And how many of you have packed a sandwich in your lunchbox and you might have put in some vegetables and some fruit, something to drink? And I've got a lunchbox here that we're going to talk about the different things that we would put in it. The first thing that comes in our lunchbox is our sandwich. And when we think about a sandwich, we have to do lots of things before it actually turns into bread. So a farmer actually planted seeds in the spring, and by summer it had grown into tall wheat. And I've got a little bag here that actually shows what our wheat might have looked like once it's grown. Nice little seeds. And then in the fall, they would pick the wheat, and the farmer would cut it with a giant combine harvester and send it all to the flour mill. So that wheat, those little grains, actually turns into the flour that we're going to use to make our bread that's going to be in our sandwich. So the miller grinds the grains into wheat, and the truck took the flour to the bakery, and then the bakery mixes it with flour and water and sugar and yeast and makes it into a nice squishy dough. Have any of you ever made bread? It's so much fun. We might do that sometime. After it's all mixed up, they bake it, and it comes out of the oven and turns into the delicious bread that we're going to use in our sandwich. Also in our sandwich, we have a piece of cheese. We're really fortunate. We have a cheese factory not too far away. That might be a fun place for some of you to get to go someday. But once the cheese was milk that we actually got from the cow. So that milk is turned into cheese at the cheese factory. They add some bacteria to the milk and they make it thick, and it turns it a little bit sour, but that's okay. And then they add a substance that animals use to digest milk called rennet, and then it's changed again into little cheese curds, and it makes this delicious cheese that we're going to put in our sandwich. And I love cheese on my sandwiches. The next thing that we're going to find in our lunchbox, and I've had several of these this summer, is a tomato. Last summer, your tomatoes were growing in big plastic tunnels full of tomato plants. And where we live, sometimes we don't have temperatures that we can grow tomatoes all year round, so they have to grow them in a greenhouse. But we're fortunate in the summertime that we can actually grow our tomatoes outside. Once they're ready and they're nice and big and red and ripe, we're going to pick those tomatoes and sort them out and pack them and send them to the store. But we've actually sliced a tomato and put it in our sandwich. So that's going to make a yummy sandwich. Tomatoes and cheese. We're also going to find an apple in our lunchbox. And I love apples, and we're going to make a snack with an apple here in a few minutes. actually grow on a tree. They don't just grow at the store. And the pickers have to climb up the tree and they harvest them. And sometimes, once the apples are actually nice and ripe and sent to the store, they're turned into apple juice or a juice box. So we don't always just eat our apples, sometimes we actually drink them. This next vegetable that we're going to find in our lunchbox is orange. And it's a really pretty vegetable. Does anybody know what this is? It's a carrot. And carrots grow in the ground. And each summer when the carrots are ready, they're going to be pulled out of the ground. When they send them to the store, sometimes they'll wash them and sort them and they cut them into little tiny pieces. And we have baby carrots that a lot of us really like to eat. So that might be something that you would find in your lunchbox. We've got an orange fruit next, and this one also grows on a tree, and it's one of my favorite fruits, cuties, or sometimes called clementines. I like to just keep these in my purse. They make a really great snack when you need something quick. All these little flowers on these trees actually are going to turn in to cute little oranges or clementines. Once again, somebody has to crawl up that tree, climb up the tree, might use a ladder, that'd be a little bit safer, and they pick all those clementines off and put them into boxes. Then they're washed and sent to the packers, and then they make their way to the grocery store. You've eaten it all, from the first bite of bread to the last piece of fruit. It comes from the fields and farms and orchards, from groves, from dairies. So many people help bring you everything that comes into your lunchbox. Farmers and bakers and chocolate and cheese makers, pickers and packers and truck drivers. And now it's all in your stomach, starting to do the job that food does best. It's helping you to grow taller and stronger and gives you that get up and go. Our food is our fuel, and if we don't eat good food, we're not going to have the energy we need to do all the things that we like to do. But we need more than lunch to make us grow and be healthy. Every day, we need to choose foods from the different sections of my plate. So we need to make sure we choose fruits and vegetables. About half of our plate need to be fruits and vegetables. And grain and the protein section down here. We can remember P for purple and protein, and some dairy. We need all these things, not just on our plate at dinner time, but also in our lunchbox. We need to make sure we eat all those foods to make us grow strong. So when we think about choosing our foods, make sure we think about all those wonderful different colors of foods that we have to eat, all those different tastes and flavors, how delicious they are, and how much they do for our body. So today, we're going to make a snack. And this is going to be a fun snack. It's one that you could put in your lunchbox, or it would make a great after-school snack. One of the first things that we need to do before we cook is to make sure that we wash our hands. And I've washed mine before we've gotten started. We've taken an apple and we've actually sliced it. If you have an apple core, you could just stick it in there and twirl it around. If you don't have an apple core, just slice your apple and then take a knife and cut this center part out. You'll see the center part actually looks like a little star if you want to play with that for a minute. But we're going to lay our apples on our plate and we're going to make apple donuts. This is going to be a healthier donut than what a lot of donuts would be, and we're going to top it with some delicious toppings to make it be even more delicious. So we're going to spread some peanut butter on our donuts, our apple donuts. If you're allergic to peanut butter, you could choose another type of nut butter, and this is a great project that kids could actually do. So give them a plastic knife and let them spread their own peanut butter on there. And then we're going to take some toppings. We want our peanut butter apple donut to be even more delicious. So we've got, you could put some coconut, you could put sunflower seeds or chopped nuts, and you could even use some mini chocolate chips, just a few of those, just to give it a little bit of extra flavor. So you've made a delicious after-school snack that's not only fun, but it's also good for you. Thank you so much for joining us for Storytime Cooks, and I hope you'll come back another week.
We love food colored green, bell peppers and long string